Hello, and this time I am not saying, hey guys, I'm back again. Hello, today we are doing something a little different. No way, I said that last time. Okay, today I'm going to be looking at Splatoon 2 and see what makes it a perfect game. I even started my own private Squid research lab. Wish Nintendo's probably going to want to shut down when they learn about this. I am not a big fan of multiplayer shooters, but apparently Splatoon 2 is the one for me. There was a Splatoon 1 for the Wii U. I have a Wii U, but I never played it. I'm sure it's a great game too. However, to my understanding, Splatoon 2 is the same as the first game, only with a new campaign, a co-op mode, and overall more content. Honestly, this is a game that everyone should play. It's weird how Nintendo themselves decided to make this game. Many would just assume Nintendo would just have some third-party company develop the game. However, since they are Nintendo, they managed to deliver a great multiplayer shooter for the Wii U, and not too many people ended up playing it. However, with the Nintendo Switch being an immediate success, Nintendo released Splatoon 2. This game is so similar to the first game that I'm surprised Nintendo didn't just call it Splatoon Deluxe Edition. But at the same time, there's enough new to call it Splatoon 2. The idea behind this game is pretty wacky. You play as a squid kid that can turn into a normal squid. Instead of having a gun, you have an ink gun that can shoot ink. You must play in teams of 4 and fight against other teams of a different color. However, the goal is not to kill or splat in this case. The goal is to cover the map in your own ink while the other team is trying to do the same thing with their ink. When time runs out, the team who has covered the map in their ink the most wins. Well, that's the goal in regular battle. Rank and legendary battles are a bit different. You can use your squid form to hide in your team's ink as well as use it to reload and hide from your enemies. However, trying to travel in your opponent's ink will hurt you. If you get hit too much by the opposing ink, you will splat and have to respawn at your base. So, what makes Splatoon 2 so great? Well, to start, I adore the presentation behind this game. First off, the game is really bright with just amazing colors. The ink that your characters will shoot up will change at the start of every multiplayer match. So one game it could be your team shooting blue ink and your opposing team shooting red ink, but in the next game the ink could be changed to purple and green. Even your character's hair and squid form will change to what color ink your team is. The design on the inklings are also well done. There are a variety of characters throughout the game and each one of them have their own unique design. They also talk in this weird gargling voice. Also love the atmosphere of this game. Whenever multiplayer maps update, instead of a standard update message, you get these TV style cutscenes with the game's host pouring Marana. Also, the music isn't just some generic catchy tune. It's original music that sounds like licensed music. It actually helps make the world of Splatoon feel like a fleshed out world, and I admire that. It's a breath of fresh air after seeing a bunch of greedy style shooters over the year. Of course, this is just presentation, so how does the actual game fare? The multiplayer is near perfect. It's a perfect blend of easy to learn but difficult to master. And as stated earlier, the goal in regular battles is to cover the map in your team's ink. This means that killing or splatting are near worthless. This means that if you suck at killing players, you can still help your team by covering the map in your own ink. You can turn into a normal squid not only to hide and reload, but you can also travel faster. I tried that once. It went as well as you think it did. This game is incredibly fun. Even when I splat, it's still fun. It's especially satisfying when I pull off a tricky maneuver, even more so when my team ends up winning. You can also purchase weapons at the shop with in-game money. Each weapon offers its own style of play, like rapid fire guns are decent at splatting and covering the map, snipers are good at splatting other players but not good at covering the map, and the rolling brushes are good at covering the map but are near worthless in combat. Unless you play stealth on your opponent, then it's really good at combat. You also have this special ability. By covering the map in your own ink, you will fill up the special attack meter. Once it's full, you can unleash it. However, you can't pick what special ability you can use. It's tied to whatever weapon you pick for the battle. This limits creativity a little. In fact, this is my biggest problem with the game. Splatoon does kind of streamline mechanics for you. I already mentioned that you can't really pick your special weapons. However, this also applies to gear you can purchase. Gears have an assigned perk to them when you buy them, which is pretty standard, but every once in a while when you level up you get an additional perk. However, you don't really pick your perk. Instead, the perk you receive are completely random. This greatly limits players' creativity. There's also a mode called Ranked Battles, but you need to be level 10 to access this mode, and my god, it takes forever to get to level 10. That is why I don't have any footage of it. Ranked Battles, in a nutshell, is a mode that contains more game modes like Rainmaker, which is pretty much football. Here you actually get ranked on victories or defeats, so if you win, your rank goes up, but if you lose, your rank goes down. There's also Legend Battles, but it's pretty much the same thing as Ranked Battles, but it's for people who achieve B- or higher, so basically it's for top tier players. There's also no voting system when selecting a map. The game has only 2 available maps at a given time, and is randomly picked on what 2 maps you will play. The maps will change every 2 hours, but I do wish there was at least more than 2 maps available. That is why there are TV style cutscenes by Pearl and Miranda, is to announce the next set of maps available. However, the multiplayer is still a great time. It is easily the best multiplayer I've ever played. There's also a single player campaign. There isn't much of a story, the goal is just to rescue a bunch of Zapfish. You travel through a ton of stages which are really creative in design. It's about 4 to 6 hours long and is not as grand or big as something like Halo 3. But it seems like at least Nintendo did care when creating this mode. It's a lot of fun, and I would say it's better than Wolfenstein's 2 campaign. Yes, I just said that. Will you excuse me 1 second? What did you just... Finally, there is a co-op mode. You play alongside 4 players. The goal is to collect eggs and dispense them in a basket. You get the eggs from defeating random bosses. There's also minions that will spawn in an attempt to take your team's eggs. You have to secure a set number of eggs before time runs out in a wave. There are 3 waves per game. However, you can't freely pick this mode. You can only play it on a certain time on a certain day. It's basically whenever the game allows you to play it. It kinda sucks, but I can see why this is. It helps get games going as fast as possible, as people who want to play this mode won't be spread out. None of your weapons and gear carry over from the main game to this mode. You're basically stuck with whatever the game gives you. Now, to be fair, this does add a layer of depth to the game, as you basically have to make do with what you have. I also do wish that there was a bit more variety in looks. Even though the maps will change every time the mode becomes available, the backgrounds do not, and also the ink color selection is very limited in variety. Other than that, it's still a fun mode to play. Shoutouts to the players I played with during the recording. Now, is Splatoon 2 perfect? Well, actually no, but no game is perfect. However, that doesn't mean that this game is bad. It's an amazing game. It is a ton of fun. There's also an event called Splatfest. Unfortunately, I didn't get any footage of this, but to put it simply, it's kinda like pole vault mixed with PvP. You choose one or 2 things. An example would be last Splatfest, where you pick between Raphael and Leonardo. Yeah, last one was Ninja Turtle themes. I'm not a big Turtle fan, but I do have respect for the series. Wow, it's been almost 2 years since I last said that. Anyways, you pick your team and compete for points for your team. The team that earns the most points wins. There was also one recently for soccer and baseball. Shoutouts to whoever wrote this in the in-game chat. Honestly, even with some issues, Splatoon 2 is a must-own for every Switch owner. This game just provides an amazing time for everyone. Alright, that's it for today, and I will see you guys in... It's time to shut down your private squid research. Hey, what are you doing?